Hi, I'm Christie Bassett, Florida's 2015 Teacher of the Year, and I am here in our beautiful Governor's Mansion with our First Lady, Ann Scott. Mrs. Scott and I are going to talk about literacy, family, and my favorite subject, art. Mrs. Scott, how are you today?
Great, thank you, Christy. Thanks for being here.
I am so excited to be here today and to talk about all these wonderful things with you. My first question is, I know that you are very passionate about literacy. What is your inspiration for becoming a literacy advocate?
I have always enjoyed reading, and some of my fondest memories with our two girls revolve around the time we spent together with books. They still love reading, and now I love watching them share their passion with our three grandsons. When I became First Lady, I knew I wanted to help Florida students appreciate reading and literacy because it is truly the foundation for success in school and life.
This year, I have been honored to travel with you to several schools. You have visited so many students around Florida. You meet with teachers and you read to the kids. It's absolutely wonderful. Tell me, what have you noticed so far?
In Florida, we are fortunate to have so many amazing teachers, principals, and students. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to travel the state and thank our educators for all of their hard work. Rick and I both truly believe that Florida is the best place to live, and I'm proud to do my part in making sure Florida students feel motivated to put in the time and effort to ensure they are prepared for success in college and in their career.
Speaking of motivation, I would love a little bit of personal advice. I have a 2-year-old, Crawford, at home and a 4-year-old, Ellie. What can we do to make literacy a priority in our home?
While my girls were growing up, we made reading a part of our daily routine. We read in the morning and we read in the afternoon. And even after their bedtimes, I set aside an hour every night. We'd settle in together as a family just before bedtime and read some of their favorite books. As they got older and read on their own, I would make an effort to talk to them about what they were reading. It was really a great way for us to bond.
And I bet you bond in that same way with your grandchildren. I'm sure they love bedtime when they are visiting you. Speaking of young children, we're lucky here in Florida to have a free pre-kindergarten program. Why is it so important to establish early literacy skills?
Florida is a great place for students to get a quality education from the start. Early learning builds a foundation for lifelong learning, and I believe that reading and literacy are critical to all learning.
I agree. Reading and literacy is so critical to all learning and all subject areas. I'm an arts educator, and I try to incorporate other subjects into my art classroom, including English language arts. But speaking of art, are there any art pieces that you really enjoy sharing with teachers and students?
I love hosting Florida students in the Governor's Mansion, and one of my favorite things to share with them is the many pieces of artwork on loan from various Florida museums. My favorite pieces are both from the Ringling Museum collection. The portrait of Anna Amalie, which hangs over the fireplace in the reception room, and the Pond of Imagination displayed in the Florida Room.
As an art educator, I so appreciate everything that you and Governor Scott do to preserve not only Florida's history, but Florida's art and artifacts. You also have something very exciting coming up, which is Florida's 2015 Celebrate Literacy Week. And I am so excited to have been invited to join you for all the events. What should I expect?
Oh my gosh, a lot of energy, enthusiasm, and passion for reading from all ages. I have participated in Celebrate Literacy Week every year that I have been First Lady, and it is truly something I look forward to each year. From the kickoff event to the PSA contest and all the mini school visits in between, you are in for quite a treat, Christy.
Well, I would love to chat with you all day about Florida literacy, family, and arts, but I only have one more question, and it's a tough one. What is your favorite book?
That is a tough one because I love so many books, but thinking back to my childhood, I remember the Bronte sisters, and I loved Charlotte Bronte's Jane Eyre and Wuthering Heights. So those are just a couple of my favorite. How about you, Christy?
Those are both fantastic books, and you know, for my favorite book, I have to look back in my past also, and my favorite are two books I read in high school, and that's Homer's The Iliad and The Odyssey. I loved both of those books. Thank you so much, Mrs. Scott, for inviting me here today and chatting with me about literacy, family, and art.
You're welcome. It was such a pleasure to have you here.
I can't wait to see you soon for Florida Celebrate Literacy Week, and we can't wait to see you all soon for Florida Celebrate Literacy Week. We would love for you to join in the conversation, share your favorite book, or maybe talk about what you're doing with your students to promote literacy. You can join in the conversation by using the 2015 Celebrate Literacy Week Florida hashtag. Until then, please keep reading and keep creating.